Aloha! Welcome back to Happy Hippies. My name is Desiree, and today I would like to introduce a new series of videos to you, DHARMA Talks. During these DHARMA Talks, we go through different parts of yoga, the history, philosophy, myths, chakras, sutras, you name it. I want to introduce this because these days, oftentimes, yoga is perceived to be just yoga asana, the physical practice of yoga poses. Yet, yoga is so much more. It has such a rich history that I would like to explore together with you. Yoga asana is only one of 8 limbs of yoga, or 8 branches of yoga, according to Patanjali. So that leads us to today's topics of this Dharma talk. I will be talking about the mind and the ego. We will discuss this with the help of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra in chapter 1, Sutra number 2, which says Yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha. And yogas is yoga. Chitta is mind stuff, the workings of the mind. Vritti means fluctuations, both in the mind and in the breath. And Nirodha means to stop. This sutra is often translated as yoga is the sensations of the fluctuations of the mind. Or as my teacher taught me, which is a translation that I really like, yoga occurs when we stop identifying with our thoughts. As students of yoga, we can often hear ourselves saying that we can't do something when faced with a difficult asana. The pose might be too difficult, or at least that's what the mind tells us, what our ego tells us. And in fact, that is actually where the true yoga lies for us. It is where we learn the most. We can research this by asking ourselves if this is actually true. And we then often learn that it isn't. Those thoughts are actually false beliefs that we tell ourselves. And we think that we need to be able to do difficult asanas, or anything in life for that matter, within a few days. We expect it to just happen magically, without really putting in any effort. We live in a society that is all about the fast way to do something. Losing weight in 7 days, getting abs in 10 days, and so on. This fast route simply isn't sustainable. There are no shortcuts in learning our lessons, in becoming truly free. And essentially, that is what we're looking for in our practice and in life, this sense of freedom, actual nirodha, our very best state of mind and control over the mind. Yoga isn't about being able to do an asana perfectly. So what does that even mean? On social media, we are bombarded with images of people doing headstand or placing their leg behind the head. And for some reason, we are drawn to this. However, that doesn't mean that these people are better at yoga. They might just be very flexible or bendy. Their connection to the practice might be somewhere else. Or, for all you know, they might have been working on attaining that pose for years. The true power of yoga, in my opinion at least, lies within these very moments and these very postures that don't come easily to us. The ones we have to fight for and work at day in, day out. The ones where we are forced to take a good look at ourselves and with loving kindness approach the practice with compassion. Some poses take weeks, months, or even years to learn, and that is okay. The journey is what matters here, and that is where your lessons are. When we are faced with the ego, the mind wants us to believe that we can't do something, and we need to understand that these are false truths. There is a very beautiful lesson to be learned here. If we connect to Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, in the first chapter, the second sutra, which says yoga's Chitta Vritti Nirodha, we can learn exactly this. So the fluctuations of the mind that we are experiencing in these poses and in this situation are there to teach us very valuable lessons. So with practice, the fluctuations of the mind, the thinking, stop. And then we have yoga. Everything we just talked about is further explained in the 4th and last chapter of the Yoga Sutra. Here we learn that yoga is actually a combination of 2 things. Abhyasa, which is practice, and vairagya, which is detachment. So next time you approach a difficult situation in life or even during your practice, remember this. Approach life with love, compassion, and enjoy learning. Put in the effort and the practice, but let go and detach from the outcome. Thank you for joining me for today's Dharma Talk. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to let me know what you thought about it. And namaste.